Tina. Hi, Sydney. Sophia
Hi.
Soto, Nerds of
Hi.
Color. Thank you both so much for your time today. I'm a huge fan of both of you, especially about this movie, and I'm so excited to speak with you guys about it.
Thanks
Oh,
so
thank
much. It's
you.
great to talk to you.
Great to talk to both of you. And to start off, I really want to ask about the fact that this was a true story. Did that affect your individual approaches? And was there any specific preparation you did to really capture it?
Yeah, I mean, it totally affected it because it's true. This person's alive. This person had a family. Reality went. The person went through this extremely traumatic event. So just always being like we were always in touch with the reality, and our family is one big part of like an approach to it. And then just always because we had this real document. Do you know what I mean? If we stuck to the integrity of this document, that felt like a way forward, and always letting them know that's what we were doing, and just treating it with like integrity and rigor and respect the whole process was really the way to think for me to. And and then we talked a lot about this with Sydney, who then of course had its beautiful relationship with reality herself, but was the way to think of doing this around a living person, like that had to be taken into account. But also we wanted to make something very specific to this idea too, so that balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience having the real person being able to talk with, learn from, observe, and then take all of that, put it into my own process, and then create it
Yeah.
on screen.
And Sydney, I've been a fan of yours throughout all your projects. You have such great range as an actress. What was it about this role that made you want to take it on?
I think there were multiple different reasons. One, that it was taken from the actual transcript. I've never read anything like that before, and that was a challenge that presented itself to me that I knew I was going to be scared by, and I really wanted to embrace that. And then also just how complex reality is as a character, how many different layers and contradictions that she has. So being able to dive in as an actor to all of those layers, it definitely drew me in.
And I always believe there are certain challenges that are presented on a project, kind of like you were just talking about, Sydney, that can really teach you for your future work. And I'm curious for both of you, did you get something away from this project that you feel like I can really apply this to future roles or future films and shows, anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, for me, so much, like almost every aspect of it, because it was my first feature, was like, I mean, I think I had an incredible team and collaborators around me, from these actors and the casting, I mean, the cast, obviously, and then the crew. And so it went quite well. I mean, I feel really lucky that these were the people around me doing it, and we were really prepped and we pulled it off. It was a fast and dirty shoot, in terms of like, we were really in there, making this happen quite quickly, and in tight quarters and all that. I'm really proud of how we did it. But so every second of it, though, was sort of like a learning curve of like, oh, okay, this is how fast it's going to go, and this, and yeah, I mean, really, the whole experience for me is like, I did it. I did my first feature. Now, on to the next one with all this incredible experience I got, and from then working with someone like Sydney, who, I said this a lot, but has taught me a lot. Even just getting to work with that kind of actor, and with Sid in particular, and these other great actors on this. So, yeah, it was a really incredible experience to get to have, and to take forward for sure in future work.
I love that.
I mean, I don't know
Yes,
how I feel
Sydney.
about that. It was quite just a brain exercise for me. I feel like I was reading 10, 15 pages of dialogue every night, preparing for the next day. So making sure that I can stay on my toes, and just it was a brain exercise. It was crazy.
I want to ask if there's anything that you hope like audiences are left with when they finish the film.
I hope that they see a human, a human that you might not have like. There's so much about reality that she's been reduced to headlines or political views, and I think that it's really important to see this person and the experience that she went through.
Yeah, I mean, I think something interesting about reality in this, what we show in this film, is like it's a very unexpected twist on what it means to like be interrogated, and have go through this, and she's an unexpected person at the center of that. And we worked really hard to show all these very specific details of her life and what that afternoon was like. And so it just, you get to have a different spin on a slice of humanity. You know what I mean? Like that's not maybe who you expect to do what she did, and then the questions of why she did what she did, that all that gets us around this great, really specific afternoon, and we get to be with her literally in her house as this unfolds. And I think people getting that close-up, unexpected, like detail-oriented storytelling is what I hope they take away from this too.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask both of you if there was a moment or a scene you were kind of most excited or interested in seeing come to life after you had filmed it and, read the script, written it, all that stuff, getting to see it come to life on the screen. And if you want to talk specifics, I can hold this interview till after the movie releases. So don't worry about that.
Honestly, the entire sequence in the room.
So this is one you'd have to hold, but it's a kind of crazy, it really gives this, what happened, the thriller aspect is when reality says she folded something in half, and she's still trying to not tell the whole truth of what she folded in half, but the agent catches her and he's like, folded in half. And what Sydney does in that moment when you realize that reality is realizing like that maybe she has maybe stepped a little closer to this not going very well, it's such a beautiful moment acting wise, and it's kind of heart dropping because you as a viewer, I think oh no, as that plays out. And Josh Hamilton's actually incredibly good, in that as your scene partner, and that as Agent Garrick. So that one, I want to save it because it's a really exciting, I think a really beautiful and exciting part of the movie. But that's one of my, it's a dark part of the movie for reality, but again, she moves through it with the poise and grace and humor actually of herself. But that's a part of the transcript that's always been really potent and meaningful to me. And watching Sydney and Josh do versions of that was really cool. So, yeah.
And Tina, kind of like you said, with this being, your directorial debut, I'm curious, why was this the story you wanted to tell with that first? I mean, your first project is probably something that is so dear and, like you said, teaches you so much. Why was this the right one?
I was like, this, I can't even believe this. This is my kind of protagonist. This smart, weird, totally like all over the map young female. Like literally, like it's so exciting to me. You know what I mean? Really smart, really funny, has all these details that are so contradictory. She does this act that like even was hard. I didn't know how to think of it. That all felt really rich and scary to dive into. And then since it did actually have these real world ramifications, the stakes of that were like, to me also then very exciting for the content and for like storytelling that went, I hope that it's like entertaining and stuff to watch, but also I don't have answers for any of it, but I like that it steps into a conversation that is also bigger than just the art. Like, something we talk about, like it takes reality beneath the headlines of Reality Winner. And I love that it was a project that could do that yeah.
Thank you both so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It was such
Thank
a
you very
pleasure.
much.
You both are
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you.
Fanboys, professional artists, and professors. Maybe a nerd who's just like you, talking about the things that you like too. So I invite you to the NOC. In full color, you see me. The hard knock life. Comics, movies, and TV. Yeah. Pop culture with a different perspective. Watch it on your screen, hit play, so check this.